Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wanted to come to you guys quick with this information. There was a very dangerous train derailment in Kentucky. Sorry, I didn't get it with the news update um, because there's not much information on it. I'm one of the first couple to report on it and everything that's happening here. So I'll try and give you the best information I have and give you a quick rundown. This is the only video that I can find on any social media site as of right now. So we'll watch this Fox 56, which is the local news station, and then I'll take you through and we'll talk about it.
Good evening. I'm Marvin Bartlett along with Andrea Walker. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Rockcastle County.
Crews are on the scene of a train derailment and chemical spill in the area of Mullen Station and Livingston. Now, we do have team members out there gathering details as we speak. Authorities say at least 15 cars are involved, including 2 that spilled sulfur. Leaders with Kentucky Emergency Management say 1 crew member was treated for minor injuries at the scene. Thankfully, no one was hospitalized. Governor Andy Beshear shared a message on social media asking people to stay away from the area. We actually just got off the phone with Rockcastle Emergency Dispatch. They say the entire town of Livingston, about 200 people, are being evacuated as we speak. This is a developing story, of course, and we will continue to follow this story throughout the evening and bring you the very latest on Fox 56 News at 10.
So this looks to be much in the way that the East Palestine, Ohio train was. So governor declares state of emergency after train derailment. Livingston, Kentucky, a state of emergency has been declared in Rockcastle County after a train derailment. Governor Andy Beshear, Democrat, Kentucky, made the declaration following the multi-car derailment in the community of Livingston. Residents of Livingston are being forced to evacuate after the derailment. Rockcastle County Dispatch told Spectrum One News the derailment forced everyone in the community to leave their homes. Rockcastle County Judge Executive Holbrook declared a state of emergency for the county, and the governor's executive order allows the state to activate resources, including Kentucky Emergency Management and the Kentucky National Guard, as needed to help protect the families and community. So this is the letter from Governor Andy Beshear and his executive order. And we'll get into what they had on the train and what the response or what the possibilities are after we get through this. Well, I'll tell you in just a minute. Beginning on November 22nd, 2023, continuing a train derailment in Rockcastle County, Kentucky, has resulted in evacuation, potential damages to the public and private property, and road closures. Yeah, I have it, Sutter. We'll get to it in just a minute. With the threats of impacts to safety and health of all citizens, infrastructure, local economies, and private properties. These conditions endanger public health and safety and the public and private property. State and local government share responsibility for protection of public health, safety, security, as well as the protection of public and private property, and for taking appropriate actions to ensure the provision of essential public services. The Rockcastle County Judge Executive has declared a state of emergency for Rockcastle County, and therefore Governor Andy Beshear, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, by virtue of the authority vested in the Constitution of Kentucky, blah, 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 hereby declare a state of emergency exists in the Commonwealth of Kentucky and do hereby order and direct that the Division of Emergency Management with the Department of Military Affairs should execute the Emergency Operations Plan, and from the Kentucky Emergency Operations Center shall coordinate in response and relief activities of all state agencies and private relief organizations in response to this emergency. The Adjutant General is authorized to issue active duty orders for the mobilization of such National Guard personnel and equipment as he may determine to protect life and safety, to continue essential public services and prevent undue loss and suffering. All state agencies shall coordinate any and all public emergency information and or activities released to this emergency and response efforts of state agencies with the Division of Emergency Management. All state agencies shall provide sufficient personnel required for the staffing of the Kentucky Emergency Operations Center or other command, control, coordination points that may be designed by the Emergency Management's director, and shall provide such personnel, vehicles, equipment, and other resources needed to protect the life and property to ensure continuation, restoration, and recovery of essential public services. The Finance and Administration Cabinet is directed to provide assistance with incident, disaster, resource management, procurement, and contracting to aid and to fund the urgent operations and or response of the Division of Emergency Management and the unbudgeted expenditures and obligations of other state agencies that incurred in response to and recovery from this emergency incident and in executing provisions of the executive order. That's my thought. They immediately declared the state of emergency as well. The Division of Emergency Management is authorized to request assistance, including federal, state, local, private sector, volunteer, and donated resources as may be available to minimize human suffering and restore essential services to the general population and assist state and local governments and individuals impacted by this emergency. The Division of Emergency Management shall consult with the American National Red Cross and other officials to determine the need for emergency shelters for displaced families and shall coordinate with local government, school boards, and other organizations to determine the availability of schools and other facilities to be used as shelters during this emergency. Transportation on and access to any and all public roadways in the affected area may be restricted or prohibited in the interest of public health and safety. Order is effective November 22nd, 2023. So all this information is just coming out. Apparently, the derailment happened at about 2:30 p.m., but I just got wind of this. Just a few moments ago. They have completely evacuated the towns of Livingston and Piney Branch, Kentucky. So we'll look at. They are relatively small towns, but they have. I'm looking up Kentucky so I can give you a better idea of where we're thinking here. Come on. Come on, update. Why are you not giving me Livingston, Kentucky? There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's kind of south central Kentucky. So this pin is the area where the train derailed. For those non-American viewers or geographically challenged, this is my great state of Michigan. This is East Palestine, Ohio. This is Kentucky. This was a CSX train. It was carrying the thing that they are most concerned about and talking about currently is sulfur and different sulfur compounds. Now, sulfur on its own isn't terrible, but we'll look at the MSDS and take a look at why that's slightly concerning. By issuing a state of emergency, we're ensuring that every state resource is available to help keep our families safe. Governor Beshear said, please stay clear of this area as state, local, and CSX officials respond. No shit, I didn't see that. Near Harlan? Oh, you are a geography expert, Obama. The state's Emergency Operations Center has also been activated to level 4. The state's Energy Environment Cabinet Emergency Response Team is also on the scene. The governor has also activated the state's price gouging laws to protect families from grossly overpriced goods and services. With the state of emergency in place, consumers in the Commonwealth can report price gouging. Blah, blah, blah. We have reports of a train derailment in Rockcastle County. At this time, one home has been evacuated and teams are working to evacuate one more. Please stay clear of this area. We will share more information as available. And like we said, that has expanded to 2 entire towns at this point. According to Rockcastle County Judge Executive Holbrook, CSX and R.J. Corman Railroad Group are on the scene assessing the damage. Holbrook told Spectrum News 1, there are 17 cars derailed. There are no injuries. Holbrook says there are 15 people at the middle school, which is serving as a temporary shelter. He added the shelter was set up as a precaution until crews can determine what they're dealing with. The judge executive was not sure if any chemicals were involved in this derailment. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet said on X, US 25 was blocked in both directions in Laurel County at mile marker 0 to Callaway Branch Road at mile marker 47 because of the derailment. So they're talking about 47 miles of U.S. highway that is completely shut down. They said it was unknown how long the road would be closed. According to the Census Bureau, approximately 200 people live in Livingston. So that is the state of emergency. That is Governor Beshear. The state of emergency was declared about 2 hours ago. I still have not seen a single photo, a single video of the actual derailment. There's very little information that's coming out. I know one of the chemicals that was on board was sulfur. So sulfur is colloidal sulfur, molten sulfur. So health, flammability, reactivity. So flammable, molten, combustible, poisonous gases are produced in fire. Containers may explode. Sulfur can affect you when inhaled. Contact can severely irritate and burn your skin and eyes, with possible eye damage. Inhaling sulfur can irritate the nose, throat, and lungs. Exposure to sulfur can cause headache, nausea, and vomiting. Sulfur may cause asthma like allergies. Molten sulfur is flammable and can release poisonous gases such as hydrogen sulfide. So HS4. Damn. Okay. That's what they're worried about then. Substance fact sheet on hydrogen sulfide. Why don't we do that? But that's what they're going to be worried about. Exposure to hydrogen sulfide, H2S. Okay. It can cause apnea, coma, convulsions, dizziness, headache, weakness, irritability, insomnia, upset stomach, and if liquid, frostbite. Frostbite. Interesting. So obviously not good. The recommended airborne exposure limit is 10 parts per million, which should not be exceeded by any 10-minute work period. So exposure to more than 10 parts per million. Damn. The threshold limit value is 1 part per million averaged over an 8-hour work shift and 5 parts per million as short-term exposure limit. So if it gets into the air, then it becomes significant. This is the rotten egg smell. They often add it to gases and stuff like that, so you can notice if there's a leak, and very, very trace amounts. And that is what we know has been 2 of the cars. That's all we've gotten information on so far, is 2 of the cars have been 2 of the cars have been identified to have sulfur or some kind of sulfuric compound. Also, you can get things like sulfuric acid that are sulfurs, or I mean, there's some terrible acids that could be a result, and be under kind of that sulfur type thing, which is all speculation, but that's all we can do right now, unfortunately. So if sulfur is spilled, take the following steps: evacuate personnel and secure and control entrance to the area. Eliminate all ignition. Cover molten sulfur with dry sand, earth, or non-combustible material and place it in sealed containers for disposal. Collect solid material in the most convenient and safe manner and place it into sealed containers for disposal. Keep molten sulfur out of confined spaces such as sewers because of the possibility of an explosion. Ventilate and wash area after cleanup is complete. Do not wash into sewer. It may be hazardous to contain and dispose of sulfur as hazardous waste. Contact your Department of Environmental Protection or the Environmental Protection Agency. Sulfur reacts explosively with oxidizing agents such as perchlorates, peroxides, permanganates, chlorates, nitrates, chlorine, bromine, and fluorine. So, a violent explosion, that's never good. Sulfur is not compatible with metals and metal powders such as zinc and tin. Alkaline metals such as lithium, sodium, potassium, phosphorus, ammonia, charcoal, and hydrogen. There's a lot of hydrogen in the air. That's probably why they're concerned. Molten sulfur reacts with hydrocarbons to form toxic and flammable gases such as carbon disulfide and hydrogen sulfide. So that would be your fuel. So if it broke and caught fire, then you automatically have those compounds that could be a serious concern. So that's true. We're not giving advice, but yeah. Yeah, oh, I know. And they can derail very easily on their own. But this seems to be more than that. It seems to me a failure of our rail system because we're seeing more and more of these. So the carcinogen, I mean, this is some pretty bad stuff. Like I've worked with sulfur before, but I guess never realized how terrible it can be. Obviously I'm still here, but you know, I also do take some precautions at times. Begin, so inhalation, remove pressure, person from exposure, begin rescue breathing, transfer properly to a medical facility. So that's what we know as of now. They have completely evacuated the 2 surrounding towns. They have declared a state of emergency. They are they're moving in, and we have confirmed that there was sulfur on the one train. I'm looking for any more additional updated information, and if not, I am going to cut it right there. But we'll see if I can find anything else. Kentucky, because like I said, if you Google right now videos on Kentucky train derailment, it's mine and the video I showed you from Fox 56. That's it. That's it. Raw Alerts just posted something, but it's everything I've already said. Oh, they have a little bit of an update. So, state of emergency has been declared. 2 Kentucky towns evacuated following hazardous chemical spill from derailed train. Currently, state of emergency has been declared with 2 towns, Livingston and Piney Branch, following a multiple car train derailment. A CSX train carrying hazardous chemicals has derailed, resulting in the evacuation of the mentioned towns. At least 15 cars were involved in the accident, including 2 sulfur dioxide cars that were breached. Oh. So now we have confirmation that not only were there sulfur dioxide, but there was also breaches in both sulfur dioxide cars to add with fire. That's not a good situation. Causing spillage of the contents from the wreckage. 1 member of the 2-person crew was treated at the scene for minor injuries. Police are strongly encouraging residents to evacuate the area. Here is the middle school or high school, and obviously there's an emergency center for families and things like that. We obviously hope for the best, and we hope that there's a quick resolution to it. We will certainly keep an eye on it. I'm just looking up one more source, just so I can give you any more if it has become available since we've been talking. State of emergency. Got that. ABC just finally broke something on it. Same thing. Chemical spill. So we're getting some consistent reporting from that. Derailment and blah, blah, blah. Sulfur has been breached. CSX. So we know it's a CSX train. We know that it had sulfur compounds. Some are saying sulfur, just plain sulfur. Some are saying sulfur dioxide. We know there's been a state of emergency. We know there's been evacuations. And we truly wish everyone in the area the absolute best. And we hope that you stay safe and heed all the heed all the warnings of your local law enforcement and emergency response officials. If they can get it under control and dispose of that sulfur very quickly and very efficiently and safely, then it could mitigate some of that. That air is not going to be fun to breathe for until they can mitigate it. And if it catches fire, and we see the same thing that we saw in East Palestine, then it could get considerably out of hand and become a very dangerous situation. David Bondi found it also. Yeah. Is it too early to demand the no Buttigieg? No. I mean, it's insane. It's insane to see that it just continues to happen like this. So there's my show. Yeah, I'm really not seeing anything else. If I see anything else, I don't have a problem coming back on. If I don't, I will update people in the morning. Well, shit, tomorrow's Thursday. I'll see. But this seems like kind of a big story. So we pray for everybody that is in the area, and we hope for the best for you. Please heed the warnings of your local law enforcement and local emergency response. And I will keep my eye on it and keep everybody as posted as I possibly can. Kaiser knows the area too. It's way southeast of Kaiser. It's probably actually closer to me than it is Kaiser. Because he's way northwest. I'm not gonna dox him, but he might be. I mean, I'm looking at the map. I mean, it's pretty far southeast of Kaiser, so, but maybe. So, you live in Rockcastle County, about 13 miles away. Have you been evacuated, Ricky? Just curious if they're evacuating the entire county, because they said I'm hearing Livingston, Piney Branch, and Mullins. So, yeah, that's a good idea, Obama. No, you haven't. Okay. Well, that's good. Let's see. Rockcastle County. Let's see if we can hear anything over here real quick. Rockcastle County, Kentucky. Hang on, I gotta disable my ad blocker. That doesn't work anyways. Somerset area. Let's see if we can't figure anything out here. Rockcastle County. Okay. Like I said, it's very well going to be airborne, and it could be. I would be concerned for myself and my family if it does go airborne. We'll have to see. what comes of this, if they're able to contain it and make it not go up in flames. But no, that's just NOAA radio. Let's see, because I'm not seeing one for Rockcastle County specifically. Rockcastle County frequencies, Mount Vernon scanner, Rockcastle amateur radio. There we go. Rockcastle County public safety. Yeah, there's nothing there either. Only if I had a Jacob Castro in my stream right now. I agree, brother. Like I said, I'm just waiting to see if we can figure anything out. I'm not hearing anything on that radio. Let me try like an emergency operations. Let's try emergency operations. Eris. There we go. Let's see if it's here. Family disaster plan, emergency water supplies, PDF format. Yeah, so I'm not getting a ton of emergency broadcast information. National Weather Service. All right, let's see. One more spot here. And I don't have an actual radio, so I have all kinds of frequencies. I just don't have an actual radio to and I don't think I'm close enough, but emergency alerts, ready.gov, Eastern Kentucky News. Stay out of the 75 around Vernon. Checking on the wind. Okay. Clark County, Issel, Fayette, Guard. Yeah, so those are going to be just radio or weather radios, so that's not going to really help us a ton. Let's see if they have flashing state of emergency, blah blah blah. Level 4 activation. We already got that. I'm really concerned that we haven't even got an image of this train yet. That's odd to me. So dozens of homes are under investigation. Police strongly encourage residents of Piney Branch Road and Livingston to evacuate. Residents can go to Rockcastle County Middle School for shelter. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is oh shit. Fuck, that's not the one I wanted. See, I don't know what this damn. Okay, so that wasn't the one either. Hang on. It's highly advised you evacuate as a cloud of toxic chemicals is expected to move over that area from the train derailment earlier. The Rockcastle County Middle School is open for you to go to. That's from meteorologist Jordan Smith from Close. And that's the only other update we have. So just updating, just several updates to try and get people to heed the warning and remove themselves from the area. Apparently, from what I read from that, is some of it was released into the air, and that could be a concern. So, winds 4 miles per hour from the southwest, everything to the northeast, empty forest for the most part. Okay. The chemical is sulfur. So sulfur dioxide or sulfur. The issue is if it became molten. Often with train derailments, you get fire. Well, fire heats up sulfur. Sulfur becomes molten, and then it becomes far more dangerous. There's a great deal of concern with inhaling pretty much any amount of sulfur from the material safety data sheet that we were looking at. So, blah, blah, blah. I'm just reading another one. So apparently a level 4 state of emergency. So that's always concerning as well. So the Emergency Operations Center, they've declared a state of emergency. There's been several, and this is all the day before Thanksgiving, and in Kentucky, that's frustrating, and we feel for the people in the area. So sulfur dioxide is airborne. Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. So yeah, hopefully they have it contained. Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't be very long. Well, shit, I've already been streaming for half an hour. So, um, yeah, well, I have the specific, there's not a ton of them like other areas that we've looked at. There's only a couple. So, yeah, if you smell anything like rotten eggs or anything like that, it would be advisable to get out of there as quickly as possible. So, because it will start getting concerning. And then, sorry, I'm trying to read, and I really haven't seen any other updates. I don't know that we're probably going to get any tonight. Hopefully they have it contained. Hopefully that they cleaned it up. Hopefully that, we can start thinking about it. So yeah, I saw that as well. The rock something middle school. Blah blah blah. Trying to Rockcastle County Middle School is a temporary shelter. So wherever that is, that's probably one of your better bets to head that way, that direction. We're just trying to see. So there's nothing on Twitter trending, nothing anywhere, which is also weird because this happened earlier today, and the only reporting I'm seeing is myself and raw alerts. So just looking through one more time. State of emergency. Yeah, we got that much. So this is what we know. We know right now, and then I'll sign off and provide updates if I can, or if I see It is. And I think the primary concern would be any kind of explosion. If there's any kind of explosion, any kind of the one good thing is with East Palestine, the explosion was so grand that people could see it from far enough away where if they were going to be affected by it, they would have seen the explosion. So that's one favor that they did somebody. So the explosion, if it's large enough to be seen, you're probably in the radius of it. Again, we don't give any advice on this channel because YouTube hates that. But yeah, I didn't see anything either. So yeah, there's nothing. That's why it's weird. So edge of the county, yeah, and it's a small county, so they might not have the resources that some of the other ones do. So the river shouldn't. It's not something that getting into the river, getting this chemical sulfur in the air is going to be far more detrimental than getting into the water for this specific chemical. So, but yeah, so what we know now is we know a train derailed 15 to 17, depending on what report you believe, cars have derailed. There was a release of sulfur or sulfur dioxide, as many are reporting both different materials. Doesn't really matter much in the grand scheme of things. They have declared a state of emergency in Kentucky. They have ordered evacuation of the two towns that are very close to it. And I think that's about it. Kentucky Emergency Management is now level 4. And they're discussing sending in National Guard for assistance. Looks like the governor's on top of it, which is nice. And I hope that it gets taken care of and resolved very, very quickly. Hope that everyone stays safe in the area and pays attention to your local emergency response officials and local law enforcement. If they tell you to evacuate, I would suggest doing it. It's probably the best case scenario. With that being said, I hope that everybody stays safe. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And if you're in this area, I know it sucks, but we're praying for you and we're thinking about you. So, hope everybody has a great night, and I will catch you all very soon. Take care, everybody.